We're back.
And deader than ever.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Tamara.
And this is
Ghoul Beans. Happy to be back with you, Cal.
I'm so happy. How was your trip?
Yeah, if you're listening to this, I just spent a week in Puerto Rico. I came back with bronchitis.
Classic.
I have tested 4 times now negative for COVID, so we know that at least it's not that. But my trip was good. I think the problem is that I literally went from like the Arctic, because it was really cold when we left, to it was 90 degrees when we landed at night. It was like literally 80 degrees at night. And of course, like nothing has air conditioning. So
I didn't even think about that.
well, like Puerto Rico, not to get political, but they struggle with their power system called Luma out there, and it's unreliable. So they like normally just say fuck it to the air conditioning, not to overload their own systems. And so like nowhere has air like that. So that's where the struggling is coming from. So if I sound a little congested, that's why.
And that's why we spill the ghoul beans.
And that's how you're going to hear a lot of cuts, and it's going to be Kelly cutting out my hacks.
Oh my God. What was your favorite part of the trip?
My favorite part of the trip, now that I've gone twice, the first time I went was for 2 whole weeks, which was honestly too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my favorite part now is just going up and down the mountain where my partner's grandparents live. There's like essentially no street lights, except for all the houses that like people have built on this mountain. Like everybody gets their own like lamppost that they're supposed to turn on.
Oh my gosh.
So it looks cool and it's beautiful, and the stars, you can see like every star in the sky. And in the morning, the clouds clear and you can see through their backyard because they're on a mountaintop, the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But my favorite part of the trip is always just going up and down the mountain to go to town and stuff. Like, if you want to have toilet paper, you have to go down the mountain to the town part.
Really?
Yeah, there's no stores on the mountain.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. How long is it like to get down the mountain?
You got to drive about 20 minutes up the mountain.
Shut up. 20 minutes from any kind of like anything.
No, you're not. No, you're about 30 seconds from anyone. There's tons of people on the mountain. And in my case, we were related to about 90% of them. Like they'd be like, oh, that's your cousin, to Mariel. Oh, that's my uncle. Like if you guys are ever to come with us, which I think would be a really fun trip because we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We would take you up there. You would shit your pants. The drive, the mountains in Colorado are much bigger.
Yeah.
But these mountains are like, it's like jungle mountains. They're like lush and you can't.
So beautiful.
It's all green and the flora is insane, and the roads are not like regulated. So you're driving up, like you have to have a powerful vehicle. In my opinion, according to the people of Puerto Rico, they can drive up there in whatever. The driveway up to like their grandparents' house used to be like literally clay when it would rain.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That would be scary because like already.
Well, and then when it rains, it's so loud because it's coming from that side.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. You go, oh, it's raining, because you can hear the from like 10 feet away, and then you feel it. You can like hear it before you feel it. Like town where they're from is called, in Spanish it's the door to the southeast. And because that's where like all of the ports come in and all of the hurricanes come in, like, but they're always safe because they're at the top of a mountain. I don't know if this is interesting for the pod, but
I think it's cool. Are there any dangerous animals there? Because you said like they basically are just plopped in the middle of the jungle.
There's nothing like that can kill you, except for like spiders.
They can kill you.
Yeah, but spiders can kill you like anywhere. They have tarantulas. I've never seen one. They have like really big bugs.
Yeah.
And they don't have like huge animals. They have like, my cat is attacking a Target bag on the dining table. We have a oh, I don't know why I'm not in the groove of this anymore. It's been a minute since it's just me and you.
Yeah.
And we had Tony on. But what I was going to say is that we have a corporate schmoozy dinner party to go to later.
Yeah, that's exciting. Do you have a dress?
So I had to like go get a cute. It's like a 60s like mod kind of dress. Like it's got a little collar, but it comes down. And it's like, it's so cute. It's like a little green, like, Christmassy dress.
Yeah.
And what I was going to do is get a bra that, like, kind of shows out the top.
Yeah.
But I tried one on, and it looked so cute, but it's a little too sexy schmexy for a corporate event.
Especially their first corporate event.
Yeah. It's a little too, I thought I could get away with it, but no, my boobies are too big. But I'm like gonna wear it's kind of like a nod to whenever we were little and we'd have to dress up for Christmas.
Yeah, I love
like,
that.
Yeah, but it's like
Is
really
it itchy?
cute.
Mine were always itchy.
Oh, you mean like the red dresses we had to wear little with like white bobby socks?
Exactly.
That's kind of like I've been kind of really busy. And then I was like taking quizzes in the car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm still in school. And I was like just gonna miss out on the quiz, but when I'd have internet is when we'd come down the mountain. So I was like taking my quizzes in the car. And like Puerto Rico is like the lawless land. They're not lawless, so I wouldn't go down there and like fuck around. But like there's no driving rules. There's no like people, they follow their own set. Like you would never get in trouble for blowing a red light. Mm-hmm. And like stop signs are totally optional.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that the law, or is that just people like have collectively decided that they ignore the
people
law?
have collectively decided, and also the law does nothing about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess so. Like the only cops I ever saw were like on the side of the road getting food at the stalls.
That's amazing. I love that.
Which that's another thing Puerto Rico has is incredible food.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I want to go to see all this stuff, but I also want to go to eat.
Mm-hmm. What's going on with you?
I am about to leave for Cabo.
That's right. So for the first time ever, these beans are not in the same room to record.
I know. We're not in the same room. But
hopefully this works. I'm scared it's like not gonna work.
I think it'll work. Like, I think it'll be good. It'll be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. But yeah, I got my Brazilian wax yesterday, and it honestly was not bad. Like,
okay.
I was very surprised. I was very I guess I was less nervous than I've been for a lot of things before, but like I laid down on the table and it was very much like the top of the roller coaster feeling where you're like,
yeah,
I literally can't leave now.
And you're like fully nude in front of a woman named Sherry.
She okay, shout out to Trish though. Literally
of course her name is Trish.
She was amazing though. I will not say any bad word about Trish. I don't know if it didn't hurt that much because of her. I have to assume that she had magic hands. Like I would recommend to anyone and everyone. But yeah, so she was incredible. Her little room that she does it in was just nice and calming, and it had Christmas decoration. I felt like I was on a Pinterest board. I told her that. And but she was so kind, and like you were saying last time, it's okay, yeah, go ahead and just take everything, Pooh Bear it, as you so delicately put it. And so she gave me the tiniest little tea
loincloth.
Yeah. I was like, just go ahead and put this on and lay down. And
it's barely big enough to cover your slit. It's really tiny.
It reached from one end of my pelvic bone to the other. Didn't go down the side. But
this might be too much for the pod. I feel like I have the world's longest butt crack. So I know that would not be enough. I'd have a plumber crack with that tea towel.
I 100% also have the world's largest butt crack. It goes into my back.
That is so funny.
So I totally get where you're coming from. But yeah, so, and it was just it felt like the cloth was there for formality. Literally probably just so she can open the door to come in, because instantly she moved the towel. She's like, go ahead and spread your legs. And I was also just way more comfortable than I thought I would be too. I thought the pain would be a lot worse. There were a couple rough parts, obviously, but she was really good at being this one's gonna suck, but it's only gonna suck for a second. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, she just made me feel comfortable, so I wasn't as uncomfortable. I was I could definitely just be
they're definitely
naked all the
supposed.
time.
Yeah, they're definitely supposed to like be like, this is my casual Thursday.
Yeah, and she was. She literally like nothing. I think the worst part was like she would go in and grab like hairs that didn't come out with like tweezers.
Yes.
That was the worst part that no one told me about.
I forgot to tell you that.
Just because like at certain points in like I don't want to say crevice because it's not like that, but like the hinge of your leg to like cooch, basically.
The bikini line.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I'll cut the rest out.
The hinge to your cooch. The doorway to the southeast.
Actually, it all stays. So at the doorway, at the door hinge, like she would pluck a hair and it would like set off a nerve and my whole leg would just like jolt.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm really sorry.
That is so real. Like when I got mine, yeah, she would like tweeze one and I could feel it in my left shoulder. Like I
was like, she got sharp tweezers, and then I'm like here kicking and I feel really bad. But no, honestly, not bad.
I'm glad for you. It was really bad with me. I think it's just the lady I had. She was like already under the assumption that it wasn't her, is that I'm sensitive. Of course, I was like, oh, she's right.
Right, because you're traumatized.
Because I'm traumatized, but I should have taken that as a red flag because I actually have a stupid high pain tolerance.
Right.
Like, I fully had, like, a fever when I was in Puerto Rico, and I was like, I'm honestly fine. Like, let's go to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, suffering through bronchitis, like, in a hot desert, like, a humid, it was hard to, it's like drinking. Your breathing is like drinking out there.
Ew, stop. You're just drinking hot air.
Yeah, it's like hot, wet air. Although, my hair had never looked better in my life. It literally, like, it knew I was in an ethnic place and just snapped to reality. And then also, because we kept going in saltwater, my skin has never been clearer. Oh, like, I mean, I have really clear skin as it is. I've been very lucky my whole life. I never even had, like, teenage acne. But, like, I now don't have a pore.
That's
I don't even have pores now. Like, it felt fake. Highly recommend going to a tropical island, and highly recommend Trish.
Highly recommend Trish. Yeah, if you ever get another one or like any kind of wax,
I'll go to Trish.
She's incredible. She has been doing it for years, like 22 years, I think. And she, first of all, looks younger than me. So that, I mean, I don't even, she started at 4, basically. And so then she was telling me about a bunch of like crazy clients she like dealt with in mainstream places. But now she works like by herself. So she's like, I don't have to deal with anyone. Like all my clients come basically from referrals. Like, basically.
That's why she's very good.
Yeah, because she's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I think, is why I care this week. I didn't ask you, but I guess just, like, you're back, and it makes me happy, and I'm leaving, so we're going to be apart again. And
I know, we were apart for my birthday.
I know. Happy belated birthday. I hope you liked the picture that I posted.
I did. I thought it was cute.
But yeah, I realized that I'm much more like attached to you than I used to be. Like I really missed you.
You bitch.
No. Like obviously always. No. But when we didn't see each other for like weeks at a time, it was like, oh my God, like, yeah, I can't wait to hear about Puerto Rico. And like this time I was like, the fuck, is she back yet? Like what the hell?
Yeah, I think also this podcast has like eliminated space and time for me because like the last one we recorded all in one go.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to like come back and, you know, figure it out or like, so we wouldn't have to skip a week. And so like, even that, I was like, damn, I haven't recorded in a minute.
Yeah, I know. And
but they're loving the Tony episodes.
I know. You think Tony's going to steal our job? Never.
He could never.
He couldn't be. He was a guest
never.
being, and that's all he'll ever be.
Like, I can, like, you can't be a skeptic and then steal my job.
Not when my job is ghosts. He told us probably some of the most like tangible encounters that like someone can have, right? Like people talk about whispers and I'm like, that's fucking scary. Or they're like, I felt a presence and I'm like, oh, hate that.
Yeah,
and
hate it.
I physically saw 3 ghosts in my room.
And one sat on my chest.
He's like, but I don't know. I need more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, good luck for you, dude.
Seriously.
Like, he needs to be possessed, and that's the only thing that would do it. And even then, he'd be like, well, I don't remember it, so.
I don't remember being possessed.
So what are you sipping on today, Tamara?
I'm sipping on coffee we brought from Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, it's called El Coqui, and a coqui is a frog that's native to Puerto Rico. And they named it that because it like goes.
Oh.
Yeah, it like doo 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 doo. Some of them have different ones. They can go like coqui.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. And on the mountain, of course, it's like so loud with coquis. It's crazy. Like that's something that when we go, it's like so magical because we always are there. We always get to the house at night and the clouds are clear and the stars are out and the coquis are going crazy. And it's always just like really magical. But that's what the coffee is named after. And it's an espresso and it's incredible. They're coffee people out there.
I'm so mad that we're not together so that I can't taste it.
It's really good.
One too.
It's probably not the one that all the locals drink, but it is a really good one, and it's made in Puerto Rico. So
dope. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really smooth, really delicious. You could probably buy it online if you wanted to.
Can you? I'm gonna look up right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. COQUI.
Oh my god, I spelled it right immediately. That's amazing. And you can buy it online, people. That's cool. But that sounds delicious, and I'm very jealous. I wish I was in your house right now. I am sipping on Dunkin', my original coffee.
I'm sipping on 100% pure Puerto Rican coffee.
Yeah, that sucks. I was just drinking Dunkin', and the worst part is it's toilet water Dunkin'.
Yeah.
You definitely get Dunkin' is on or off,
I know.
So there goes our sponsor from Dunkin', because
they know.
It's just sometimes I get Dunkin' and it hits so hard, and then today is one of those days where you're like, why do I go to Dunkin'?
Well, I have that series I do in my private personal Instagram story, is it cigarette juice or is it delicious?
It's straight up cigarette juice.
Today.
Shaken in a water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bummer for sure. Also, I guess I'll review their cookie butter cold brew. If you're going to get cold brew from Starbucks or Dunkin', do not make it Dunkin'. It's just so gross. And then their cookie butter foam, similar to the pumpkin cream. Honestly, the pumpkin cream foam at Dunkin' is gross.
I've never gotten a cold brew at Dunkin'.
They do not do cold brew well, and they do not do those foams well at all. They all taste like literal asshole.
I am a devout, easy breezy Aaron's iced coffee Dunkin' girl.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting something with anything at all, I'm going to Starbucks. I can't, I know that I'm not going to get an Irish cream cold brew at Dunkin'.
Right. No, it's just not what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are
it's not
literally...
their niche.
Yeah. What they say, what was their old, thing? On the run or something? That's what it is. Give me a cup of coffee quick. Okay, great. Sometimes it'll taste bad, but you're in a rush anyway, so just swallow it,
Yeah. Open your gullet and be grateful.
And yeah, so I totally agree with you. I would say Starbucks, just ready to brew coffee or whatever is where I also just I don't love them for that. But maybe if they could get together and brainstorm, they could both just be average at it. Apple.
Right. I was thinking too, if we ever did a collab with somebody, I would want to have it be where I can have my own roast. We could never be with Dunkin' or Starbucks then, because I would never do that.
No, they would never. They might let us have a drink, but it's one of my classic drink is just a caramelized coffee or hot coffee with cream and sugar. It's not.
Right.
They're not gonna call it the ghoul beans and be that it's just coffee with cream.
Yeah. It'd have to be a whipped drink or something, but that's not what we sip all the time.
And I'm not that guy.
I can be that guy.
I can be that guy if it tastes good. I will literally inject Starbucks pumpkin cream foam into my blood, but Will not do it for Duncan. I guess I've got standards. They're not
like
high, but they are there.
I would like a Ghoul Beans like cold brew.
Ooh. That's why we care. That's what we're sipping on.
Why are we scared? Oh, I have a why we're scared.
Oh, please.
Well, I'm scared because the topic that I'm doing today, I discovered organically.
Yeah.
I don't know if the listeners know, but it is a local lore episode, so we're going to be talking about places near us, obviously.
Right. Local.
Midwest. My location that I did the research for is the George Stickney House in Bull Valley, Illinois. It's about like 10 minutes outside of Crystal Lake. I discovered it organically with my partner on a drive. We were just like trying to find the richy houses in Bull Valley, which there are huge mansions. And we drove past a police station, which it said it was a police station, but it looked like a house. And I remember being like, the Bull Valley police station, like there's got to be some lore behind that. And I Googled it and it comes up as the George Stickney House. Oh I know, and thus began that the lore behind it and like my interest in it, because from the street it's really like it's regal, but it's also tiny. It's like a tiny mansion, and it's all curved edges. It's like from the outside all the edges are curved, as well as the inside.
Wow.
Yes. So in my research...
Wait, so it looks like a circle from the outside?
No, it looks like a square with round edges.
Okay. Got it.
A 2-floor square with round edges. And if you Google it, the pictures from the past, it used to have columns in the front.
Okay, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up the picture.
Yeah, there used to be white columns in the front.
Ew.
And I found a really well-written article. I'll have to tell you where it's from so we can plug them.
The columns make it look a lot better, but like without the columns, it's disgusting. I hate
It's also really hard to find a picture of it, of the inside.
Yeah, they're all from the outside.
Yeah. I found a really well-written article that I would just like to read because this person went with the intention of writing a piece on it, and it's really well done. So if you don't mind, I'm going to start reading.
Please.
Oh, wait, have you ever seen it before?
No, I've never like seen it in person.
There's nothing. So it's like the house, imagine like it's like a really, really wooded for a long time. And then suddenly if you're coming down, it would be on your right. There's just like a gravel lot and the police station. And it's a 2-floor rounded edge square or rectangle. And then there's like a subdivision up to the left, but then there's like nothing.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's like the only thing. So that's why I think whenever we like popped up on it and it's already creepy looking, I was like, what is that? Like drawn to it. Okay. Near the tiny town of Bull Valley is perhaps one of the strangest houses in northern Illinois. It was originally located far off the beaten path and remains secluded today along a quiet and mostly deserted country highway. So exactly what I was describing.
Literally.
George and Sylvia Stickney built this English country house in the middle 1800s. The scariest time, if you ask me.
Always. Every story is the 1800s.
The White Cemetery from the Cuba Road.
Yeah.
That's from the 1840s.
I know. I remember specifically talking about how that was a scary time.
They chose such an isolated place for the peace and quiet for their spiritualistic activities.
So it was like spooky goings on.
Both of them were said to be accomplished mediums, and they wanted to host parties and seances for their friends. The seclusion offered by Illinois countryside made the perfect setting. So they were devout spiritualists.
Yeah.
And I think that they get into it a little bit later, but they thought and wanted spirits to speak through them. They saw out the invitation to yes. The house itself was
Tony.
It sounds like, yeah, but Tony would be like, speak through me. And then something would speak through him and he would be like, I don't know. I think I was having an episode.
I think it was just my imagination.
Okay, Tony Baloney. The house itself was very unusual in its design. It rose to 2 full stories, although the second floor was reserved for what was called the ballroom that ran the entire length of the building.
Ugh.
Yes. During the Civil War, the house also served as quarters for federal soldiers and was home to the first piano in McHenry County. But this was not why the house gained its fame, or rather its notoriety. The fact that it's called the ballroom is sick to me because Well, lots of reasons. But one being that the ballroom is where everything was taking place.
Right, like where all the spiritualism, like...
So, like, the ballroom, they're not having balls. I mean, they are having balls.
Having a ball.
Yeah. But it's not the same kind, you know? Oh, like, what a disgusting... And then think about in the Congress, the ballroom was, like, the haunted...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As devout practitioners of spiritualism, the Stickneys insisted on adding distinctive features into the design of the house. These features, they assure the architect, would assist them when holding seances and gatherings at the property. Since the seances would be held quite often, they specified that the house would have no square corners in it. They explained that spirits have a tendency to get stuck in these corners, which could have dire results. It has also been suggested that the Stickneys believed that the corners attracted the attention of evil spirits as well, a common belief of spiritualist circles at the time. So the inside of the house matches the outside. There's no corners.
Ew.
Except one, by accident.
There's one corner?
There's one 90-degree corner by accident. According to the legend, one corner of the room accidentally ended up with a 90-degree measurement. How this could have happened is unknown. Perhaps the architect either forgot or was unable to complete the room with anything but a right angle. Perhaps he thought that the Stickneys would never notice this one flaw, but they did notice. And here the legend takes an even stranger turn. The stories say that it was in this corner that George Stickney was discovered one day, slumped to the floor, dead from heart failure.
No. You think
he was found dead in the only 90-degree corner of the house.
You think he saw the corner and he was like, no, not a 90
It just struck him. Maybe he just fell. I'll tell you one thing. If I was having a heart attack and I thought I might die, I would go to that corner.
For sure. No,
and make it a show. Not to say that it was, you know...
Right, a ghost.
I'm not discrediting George Stickney.
Anything could have happened, and honestly, that's really disgusting. But for sure, me being me now with all my knowledge, I would try to make it as possible.
I'm putting on a show, baby. I built this house with no corners, and the one corner, I'm going to show you guys.
I'll crawl there.
Yes. I would actually probably tell Luce, I'd be like, if I die in this house, drag me to that corner.
Oh my God.
It was in the corner that he was discovered one day, slumped to the floor, dead from heart failure. Although no visible signs suggested a cause of death.
Ew.
Was he right about the square corners? Could an angry host summoned by a seance have been trapped in the corner? After the death of her husband, Sylvia Stickney lived in the house and gained considerable fame as a spirit medium. Hell yeah! You better milk that for all it's worth. The upstairs ballroom was converted into a large seance chamber. Not the chamber.
Ew, no.
And people came from far and wide to contact the ghosts of their deceased loved ones and other relatives. Sylvia also claimed to stay in contact with her unlucky husband and her deceased children.
Oh, they had children?
I guess.
And they're all dead?
I guess.
Ooh.
It's the 1800s.
That's true. They died just by,
existing
down the stairs. Walking into a corner, I guess.
And they got cholera or something.
From walking into the corner.
Literally, why were, I know these kids aren't technically Victorian children because they're in... But, why are little, sickly Victorian children always, about so brittle? And why was always the prescription for, their ailments seaside air?
Because
they'd take your child to the seaside.
Actually, I literally... I really liked that, but I did read something on it. It was because, everything was built with lead. And so everyone was just weaker and sick. And so they'd go to the seaside and actually and all the pollution and stuff. So that's probably why it was just fresh, unleaded air.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're supposed to bathe in seawater. It's because the salt is exfoliating.
Right, literally. Honestly, just take them out of your poison house and they feel great.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh my God.
No, yeah. Isn't that wild?
You know, they say that
all of... that's confirmed, but...
They all say that, that most boomers have lead poisoning.
I'm sure. Every Chicago apartment
has
lead. It, I have to sign not only the rent agreement, but, we don't know if there's lead in here, but you can't sue us if there is.
Right, that's so then there's lead in here.
I remember the first time I saw that, which was my first apartment. Well, we were still going to DePaul, and like there was definitely lead in there for sure.
Oh, you mean on Sheffield?
Yeah,
that apartment was built with lead.
But I looked at it, and I just like was no place to be signing like any kind of legal document at that age. But like literally, I was like, is this okay? Like if I don't like, do I have to sign this or like? Like, does this apartment have lead? I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I sign this and just like accept my lead poisoning or?
Yeah, you do.
I did, and here I am today.
You're still flushing out that lead.
I am. I can feel it. I'm probably putting more in with my lead flavored.
With your cigarette water.
Yeah.
We mentioned, in the lost audio that the corn at Chili's has lead in it. The Lost Files.
The Lost Files. It was good too. I like that we can scrap a whole episode and still have 2 completely golden episodes. Like, I'm always sad when I'm like, I can't use this. Or there's outtakes like from the last episode that I didn't use, and I'm
oh my god. What the hell? You just started screaming. Oh my god.
You texted.
Oh, that you left that kid's name in?
Yeah. I just about peed my pants. I was like, I can't.
Oh my god.
It was so funny. I was like, I am so sorry. I don't know what. I was like, I finished all my homework, like like all the homework and all the papers and discussion posts for the next 5 weeks. I did in like 2 days, and then I edited after that. So I didn't have good things going on in my head, good judgment. But yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. He doesn't listen. I definitely do have people who listen who would know who that is, and that's kind of funny. I kind of like that because everybody like knows.
Yeah.
And then if we ever get famous in the future, he'll be like, "Oh, that podcast recognized. I know that host."
Exactly.
It's too late, Mr. Coulon.
You had your chance.
He was like, "I literally did not know your name. I felt bad for you."
You forgot that I dropped you. That you didn't mention that in the podcast.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Time passed, and despite the seances and mysterious death of George Stickney, the house never really gained a bad reputation until the 1970s. It had always been considered a strange and unusual place, connected to the spirit world, but it was never thought to be a bad one until a man named Roderick Smith moved in. He lived in that house for several years, and when he moved out, he began to claim that he often heard strange noises in the place. He also added that his dogs were never comfortable there. This led him to believe that something was not right with the property, obviously. Smith's research led him to reveal that the house had become tainted by a group of devil worshippers who lived in it during the 1960s. He was convinced that their black magic rituals conjured up something unpleasant that now inhabited the house.
So Satanists actually lived there, or like people who enjoyed rock music?
The world may never know. But I also was able to find a ghost story.
Yes, love that.
From one of the police officers there. So, because now is obviously that's the Bull Valley Police Station. In the future, when we're both fine, I think when the holidays are over, we can get back to getting down and dirty. Because October, November, December has seemingly... It's December today.
I know. Oh my God. Happy December.
Happy December. Your birthday's soon.
I know. I'm so excited. Oh my God. My queen is 28 years old. Like,
I sure am.
I did not even recognize. I was like, yeah, it's your birthday. But like, you are 28.
I could have cried, I think.
What?
Yeah. I literally was like, it was my birthday in Puerto Rico. And we were at a beautiful beach. Where, like, I think you probably saw the pictures on my Instagram. The waves were crashing into the rocks at, like, breaking up the water. It was like Little Mermaid out there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, should I just, like, let the waves take me away? Should I just be one with the earth now? It's like, what's left for me?
So much. Like, 28 is so young. I think
I don't know.
It's so funny. Your view on your age is so funny.
Yeah, I just feel like you know what? The pandemic really like threw me for a loop, and like it's hard to feel past the age of 25 because that's when how old I was when it started. Mm-hmm. So like being 28, I'm like, how is that possible? You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I have a ghost story from the police, but what I was gonna say is when we can get down and dirty again and start like randomly being like, let's go do this. We should just try to schmooze and see if we can get anybody to tell us a ghost story
I would love that.
I think that somebody would. I mean, come on.
For sure. I'm sure that they have it. I can't believe that like the police station is in there. It doesn't look like central to any area. Like it looks like a weird building for them to be like, yeah, I guess we'll just set up shop here.
I don't know how long they've been there. I should have researched that. But in 2005, Bow Valley Police Chief Norbert Sowers described his experiences with possible paranormal events in the Stickney Mansion. You know they got mad at him.
Yeah, definitely.
That they were like, oh, Sowers. Sowers said that village employees have heard numerous sounds that seem to defy explanation. He described hearing footsteps in the second floor ballroom, a room that today is used for only storage and village records, but was used for seances, we know that, when the Stickneys owned the mansion. The footstep sounds have extended out to the stairwell at times. Other occurrences include hearing human-sounding noises or voices. They sometimes hear the toilets flushing when they're alone.
Ew.
Nasty.
Does that mean you have to go to the bathroom when you're a ghost? Because that would suck. So inconvenient.
If you have to poop when you're a ghost, like, what is the point?
Exactly. Like, why did I become one with the earth? Not for this.
You can't possibly have to poop because you can't eat. Mm-hmm. The police chief, he said he has also personally experienced objects moving around on his desk, lights turning off, and doorknobs turning and doors opening, seemingly by themselves, and voices from thin air. Having once heard a shout in his ear when no one was around him. Other police officer in Bull Valley claims to have come face to face with an apparition of Stickney's father-in-law.
Shut up. Wait, you said I have one ghost story. That's like a crap ton of ghost stories.
Well, that was one long one, and then that he was just saying that other people have also experienced.
Oh man, that's disgusting. We absolutely have to go there.
Yeah. So that's the Stickney House.
So gross. If you please look up the image of the building, it's literally disgusting. All the listeners out there.
And imagine that being the only thing for miles.
Right. Imagine like having to go there for like first shift, like super early in the or like last shift. Gross. Well, that's gross. And I can't wait to go there and visit and ask them for more scary stories. I am doing the Dole Mansion from Crystal Lake as well.
It's like a stone's throw from Stickney House.
Literally. Growing up in Crystal Lake, like the Dole is where a lot of events, like community events happen. Most notably the Summer Lakeside Festival, which it's pretty big. I mean, so I've passed this mansion. I've been in it.
I voted in it.
Someone I knew. Yeah, someone I knew had like their 13th birthday in it. Like I've been there. So a little bit of the history. It's one of the most historic buildings in Crystal Lake to this day. It was built in 1865 for Charles Sidney Dole. Dole, like Dole. I don't think it has anything to do with the oranges. It's orange, right? Dole.
It's just like fruit.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with that, but spelled the same. And he was an influential member of the Chicago Board of Trade Committee. He was also a grain baron, which I literally don't know what that is. I tried to look it up, and there were no answers.
A brain baron?
A grain baron.
Oh.
Like harvest. I think like a baron is like a lord figure, right? So maybe just like
a lord.
The lord of grain.
A nobleman.
He was that, and he also was a ice harvester. He's super duper rich, so he's not an ice harvester. He was like the man in charge of ice harvesters, I suppose. And it's right across the street from Crystal Lake, and that is where they used to have the most perfect water to make pure quality ice. Now, like every summer, it's closed for several weeks at a time due to like E. coli. So no longer is it used for ice harvesting, but at the time it was great. He ran 12 commercial ice houses under the name Crystal Ice Company, and he would cut out the ice from the lake and ship it directly to Chicago. I thought that was cool. And then, so the house was built for $100,000 at the time, which equates to $2.8 million today. I bet it's honestly like probably around that. I know the houses over just by that lake are pretty couple millions.
I mean, and it's big. It's like that's what you think of when you think of a mansion.
Big. No, yeah, it is big. And it was even bigger like back when he built it. So he had it, and then he retired, and he sold it to his son-in-law for $1, which like that's nice. That's real nice.
Wow.
I wish someone would sell me a house for $1. After the son-in-law, he also took over the company, but the ice house, it burned down in 1914. And after that, the family moved away, and the house was boarded up for many years until 1922, when Lou Ringley, the widow of Al Ringley, who is the oldest brother for the Ringling brothers.
Okay.
Ringley. Yeah, right? Mrs. Circus herself. She bought it for $500,000. And she created a community basically around it. So she turned it into a country club basically, and she made golf courses all around it, and which makes sense because one of the roads like leading to it is named Golf Course.
Yeah.
But then in the Great Depression, about 16 years later, the doors were once again closed, and then from 1944 to 1976, it was purchased by the Franciscan Order of Lake Forest to be used for a prep seminary for schoolboys. And then current day, I know I was expecting to see like or hear about like creepy religious ghosts, but I did not find that in my actually maybe.
I was gonna say maybe next time.
Yeah, but current day, like I said, it's owned by the Crystal Lake Park District, and it's used for community and art programs, and is the site for many community events like the Lakeside Festival I talked about. And the furniture from the original George Sidney Dole, what was his name? Charles Sidney Dole. That original furniture like stayed with the house, I guess, so it has been set up in the rooms upstairs for like historic preservation, which is disgusting, by the by. Yeah. So that was a little bit of history. I just thought it was cool. Again, growing up and like passing it all the time, literally to like get to school sometimes. It's just it's cool to know. I had no idea that the widow of a Ringling brother lived there for a while. Like, that's dope. So for the ghosts, I'm just gonna give like what people see. There's a lot of like,
go ahead.
Yeah. It's a lot of just like, these are common ghosts. One of the commonest ghosts is a shadow man that has been seen running in the halls upstairs. Yeah, we don't like running.
I hate running.
Gross, but running's disgusting.
Maybe I didn't think they were capable of running.
I know, like that changes everything. I am so much more scared of seeing a ghost.
Yeah. And not even just like the
sprint after me.
And you hear the like the running.
Yeah. There is a woman in white. There's always a woman in white.
Lady in white.
She people think it's actually Mrs. Ringling's mother because that is the only, I believe, known death in the house. So people equate the woman in white to her. There's reports of feeling this.
Sorry.
No, I love it. There's reports of feeling the sensation of someone walking towards you, but you can't see anything.
What is
also
that?
Reports, I don't know. At least it's walking and not sprinting.
Oh my God.
There's also reports of a woman in Victorian clothing, classic, that you catch out of the side of your vision or in reflections of the mirrors. Horrible.
The mirrors is the worst part.
Why do ghosts do that to people? I hate it. People will report hearing whispering and catching conversations, like full-on conversations, while being the only person in the house. And a little story, there was a bird that I guess got trapped in the house, and it was found just lying dead on the bed of the master bedroom, which is where they see like the woman in the mirror in the master bedroom. Yeah. So the bird was just lying dead on the bed in there, and whoever was working found it. They took a picture and they posted it to Facebook. So this is recent, Facebook recent at least. And people started commenting and asking who the person in the window was. And yeah, the original poster took the photo and lightened it, and there was a full figure of a man standing like behind the bed in front of the window.
I have chills. That's disgusting.
Yeah. And then the last thing that like is known to happen is you see a little girl running up and down the stairs in Victorian clothing.
Always Victorian.
Always Victorian. And I remember, so I would go there sometimes for school, like field trips or something. And I do remember someone saying that like they had been in there for a community event and saw like a little girl running up and down the stairs. And like, unless they're giving tours, the upstairs is usually like blocked off. You're not allowed to go up there. So I always, yeah, exactly. So I always, whenever I was in there, I was afraid to like see a little girl ghost, because I was like, oh, I know someone who saw a little girl ghost here. But yeah, that is the Dole Mansion. It also looks kind of creepy, the pictures of it.
Yeah, it does.
Nasty.
I was going to say that's a good one to look up too, because in the fall, which is the only time I've ever been there because I would go there to vote. It's like in a movie, like if you were if a child's getting dropped off at a school for children, like that's exactly what it looks like. Like there's some iron rot happening, or some wrought iron, and like the pointy tips of all the like overhangs. Yeah. Looks like a dollhouse.
It literally does. And I know that there's like, what do they call them? Like, I guess like a tower, really. And supposedly that's like where the little girl's room was, in the tower. And so it's that like staircase that you see her at. Yeah, it's real nasty looking. And it's so big. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, growing up with something that historic around is really cool. And I know that during Halloween they have a lot of tours there, and they even have like psychics that go there on the regular to try and catch stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that would be like the Crystal Lake episode where we hit up Dole Mansion and Stickney House, and
that
probably
scary toy shop.
Oh, the toy crib.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an old, like burned, rundown, I guess, toy factory. I think I described it on one of the episodes. That when the wind blew the tall grass, you could see the blue lettering.
Yeah.
But only if you were like at the top of the playground. And I remember calling my mom over to go look and to be like, what is that? And she would be like, I want to go up there, because she was like kind of like me.
Yeah.
She's a lot like me in that way. The toy crib. Well, it used to be a dairy farm. It used to be a dairy farm, and they would weigh the cars that would go racing in that area, and a lot of people died. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, like, because, you know, I know the audience, you don't know, but if you look up Lake in the Hills, it's incredible. It's named aptly. Like, it's very, very, very hilly. And I guess back in the day, people used to like drag race and shit over there. It was like a huge competition, and people would come from over 100 miles away to come compete, and they would weigh themselves at the Borden Dairy farm, which is now the toy crib. Ookie spooky.
Ookie spooky. Oh my god.
Well, this is an ookie spooky episode, and thanks to everybody at home and you for putting up with me being sick.
Oh my god, no. Thank you for coming home. I missed you. Oh my
Happy to be home.
But, so if anyone has any local like places that they know are haunted that they want to hear about, they want us to do some research in, please go ahead and send that along with your personal ghost stories at ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com. Like we said earlier, please like, subscribe, and comment on anywhere.
We'll read them out loud.
Listen. Yeah, we will read them out loud. We'll call out your name and sing your praises, even if you don't sing ours.
Right.
We just love communication. So please go ahead and do that. And yeah, join in for our next episode where we're going to roast and ghost.
And
I don't know what yet.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what. That's another thing. Is like, if you want us to roast or ghost someone, also DM us everywhere.
Yeah. We'll be happy. Give us some details of a human being and we'll roast them.
And then, yeah, or ghost them. Or we'll tell them that you want to ghost them.
Oh my God, that'd be incredible. But yeah, so please just send us any kind of communication. We love it. Send us some feedback. Send us some ideas. We got a bunch of our own, but if you want to hear something, you gotta let us know. Also, please send us any kind of like cool coffee shops in the Chicagoland area. We would love to go and hit them up and review them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Or any like coffee brands that you think we should try that we can get our hands on. That would be cool too.
Yeah. I got a nice coffee maker. We'll make it work at home.
Yeah.
But other than that, just thanks for listening and spilling
the ghoul beans.